Welcome to Grow in Christ Kids. Today, we will discover how God called Moses to do something important, even when Moses felt unqualified and afraid. His story reminds us that God has a purpose for each of us too. Moses was caring for sheep when he came to Mount Horeb, the mountain of God. Suddenly, he saw something amazing. A bush was burning, but it was not being consumed by the fire. Moses moved closer because he wanted to understand what he was seeing. As Moses came closer, God spoke to him from the burning bush. God called Moses by name and told him to take off his sandals because he was standing on holy ground. Moses realized that this was not an ordinary moment. God was calling him. God told Moses that he had heard the cries of his people in Egypt and wanted to rescue them. Then God gave Moses an important mission: go to Pharaoh and lead God's people out of Egypt. Moses probably wondered how someone like him could possibly do such a huge task. Moses felt unsure about himself, so he asked God, "Who am I that I should go?" He was thinking about his weaknesses instead of God's strength. But God gave Moses an amazing promise: "I will be with you." Moses still had doubts and gave God another reason why he thought he could not do the job. He said that he was not good at speaking, but God reminded Moses that he is the one who gives people their ability to speak and communicate. God promised to help Moses know what to say. Moses had many questions and fears, but God continued to reassure him and gave him what he needed for the mission. God told Moses to take his staff because God would work through him. Moses finally moved forward, trusting that God's presence and power were greater than his weaknesses. Kids, here are 3 important lessons to learn. First, trust God. He knows what he is doing even when we do not understand everything. Second, don't let fear stop you. Moses was afraid and unsure, but he still had to trust God's calling. Third, God will help you. God promised to be with Moses, help him speak, and guide him in the work he gave him. Our memory verse is found in Exodus chapter 4 verse 12. God told Moses that he would help him speak and teach him what to say. This verse reminds us that when God gives us something to do, we do not have to depend only on our own ability. Now therefore go, and I will be with your mouth and teach you what you shall speak. Exodus chapter 4 verse 12. Today we learned that God called Moses even though Moses felt afraid and unqualified. God promised to be with him, help him, and teach him what to say. Remember, he has a purpose for you too, so trust God, do not let fear stop you, and follow him. Thank you for joining Grow in Christ Kids. Keep growing in Christ, and see you next time. Bye-bye.